and welcome to Wake Up News Live. Around thousands flee fighting in Congo as rebels claim they have. We begin our first story from the presidency. A petition has been submitted to the office of the president seeking the removal of the Electoral Commission chairperson Jane Mensah. The petitioner Ofosu Apia Daniel alleges constitutional violations citing instances of incompetence by or inaction that have eroded public confidence in the Electoral Commission. In addition to Jane Mensah, the petitioner also wants the deputy chairperson of the Electoral Commission in charge of corporate affairs, Dr. Bosman Asari, deputy EC chair, in charge of operations, Samuel Thete, and Dr. Peter Apiahin, who serves as on the commission's board. The petition submitted on Monday, January 27, invokes Article 146 of Ghana's 1992 Constitution as the legal basis for the request. The petition accuses the Electoral Commission chair and her deputies of gross misconduct, breaches of human rights, and incompetence in their official roles. Consequently, he is appealing to the office of the president to address the matter. Away from that, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has announced that the government has resolved the outstanding issue of migrating the staff of colleges of education onto the university grade structure. This development comes after the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana embarked on a nationwide indefinite strike. According to the commission, a migration committee was constituted on August 29, 2024 to address the matter and confirmed that the controller and the Accountant General's Department paid beneficiaries during the January 2025 payment window. Additionally, the research allowance top-up has been paid to all colleges of education except for the Akrokari College of Education, which is being processed. The commission commended the stakeholders involved in resolving the migration issue and urged CTAC to call off the strike, allowing normal academic work to resume in the colleges. The government assured CTAC that it is committed to addressing any post-migration issues that may arise. In a Galamsey related story, the Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Kofi-Boah, has disclosed a groundbreaking plan to combat illegal mining. Under President Mahamad's administration, the Minister Designate aims to introduce water gas to replace the military in protecting rivers and water bodies.
This strategic move is driven by the realization that permanent military deployment is not only costly but also unsustainable. The water guards will be tasked with safeguarding forest reserves and water bodies, ensuring the better protection of Ghana's natural resources. The Minister Designate, Kofi-Boah, acknowledged the efforts of security agencies in combating illegal mining under previous administrations. However, he emphasized the need for a more efficient and cost-effective approach.
Today, as we speak, the state of our rivers is nothing to write home about, and the police and the military has played a very critical role. If I get a chance as a minister, we are going to evaluate the new program. For example, I have very new, exciting ideas about what to do with the protection of our water bodies. Because we have forest guards. What about forests? What about water guards? So these ideas are going to be thought through, and we are going to come out with creative ideas to make sure that these matters that goes to the survivor.
The minister-designate assured that the government would halt mining and the issuing of licenses for mining in forest reserves, emphasizing that the country's forest reserves have been excessively damaged.
We are going to really push for another policy of Restore Ghana to deal with the issue of galamsey impacted lands and water bodies through a comprehensive land and water-based rehabilitation. These are things we are going to do to really address all the damage and heal the wounds. In the meantime, as we are doing that, we are going to make sure LI 2462 is no more, so that we can stop any further mining in forest reserve, and that's exactly what we will do.
Ama Kofi-Buah stressed that his government would empower community members to mine legally and deal ruthlessly with those involved in illegal mining.
The Chief Executive Officer of Child Intake Initiative, Ekwia Etubia Isai, is appealing to government agencies, private entities and individuals to support their mission of equipping children with artificial intelligence skills. Speaking on the importance of AI training for children, she emphasized that such programs are crucial in preparing the next generation for the future. She called on the Ghana Education Service to lend its support to the initiative.
The Child Intake Initiative, a pioneering program aimed at equipping children with essential technology skills, recently held a third edition in Accra. This year's theme, Building a Brighter Financial Future with AI, introduced young learners to transformative potential of artificial intelligence in financial literacy and innovation. The program focus on financial literacy and innovation aims to prepare the next generation for rapidly changing world. In an interview with Globe News, the CEO of Child Intake, Ekwia Etubia Isai, shared the vision behind the initiative, emphasizing the need for support from government, private entities and individuals to expand the program's reach, particularly in deprived communities.
So I'm doing it because there was an instance in senior high school where there was a robotics club that we were supposed to, learn about robotics and all that, and go for competitions. But then they were selecting according to like positions, let's say first to third, and I wasn't part of that, and it really hurt me because I really had a passion to learn about it, but then I couldn't join them. So when I got out of senior high school, I decided to do something that every child can actually participate and learn something about technology, and not really about any position or something like you are just free to learn about it. And Ghana Education, they're genius. So we like to work with them to gather the children in the children in schools, so that when we go to different regions to talk to them, we can have them in an organized space where all the children around, all the students can actually benefit from what we are doing.
A lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technologies Department of Computer Science, Rosemary Mensah Jenny, delivered a keynote address highlighting the pressing issue of inadequate ICT learning equipment in Ghanaian schools.
I feel that there should be more of government interventions, and also since the government cannot do everything alone, the private sectors should be here to support. In this conference, I've seen a number of sponsors, MTN and then others. I know that they are doing a lot in this area, and I feel that when they get to appreciate the potentials that our children will have, they'll be very interested to support. So I feel that people should be encouraged to take initiatives like this one, like the Child Intake Conference.
To bridge the gap between urban and rural areas, Mensah Jenny stressed the importance of government investment in technology and innovation programs. Her remarks underscored the need for collective action to ensure that all children, regardless of location, have access to quality technology education.
The government and relevant stakeholders should go to the needs of the people in those areas, because there's so much untapped potential. So when they get to have some of the privileges that are being enjoyed down here, it will help them to also come to the level and develop interventions.
Concerns are rising among National Democratic Congress members in the Asene, Manso, Akroso district of the Eastern region. They are upset about allegations that Eric Ahinakwa, their 2020 and 2024 parliamentary candidate, has been disqualified from the VC appointment race.
According to Bernard Ntiamwankansa, convener for concerned NDC members, Eric Ahinakwa's name has been omitted from the final list. Nkansa warns that removing Ahinakwa's name would collapse the party in the constituency. He explains that Ahinakwa's contributions to the Asene Manso Kroso district are undeniable. As the two-time parliamentary candidate, he has played a significant role in driving development in the district and making the party more appealing, especially to the youth.
NDC AMA constituency honorable Ahinakwa and ama NDC for two consecutive terms any as the face of AMA waseni sika constituency obi polyclinic no afro honorable Ahinakwa obi bada hospital no afro honorable Ahinakwa obi yare no afro honorable Ahinakwa na wabua constituency ye catch regional and vetting committee no sa omuntie na supem so omuso mbeyi honorable Ahinakwa efrim na onye DC e wa ade a NDC no still wa
Other NDC members are also speaking out, cautioning the party's regional executives not to make such a mistake, highlighting the importance of transparency and fairness in the selection process.
Happy before my mafia ye. Na ya dema ya bla no. Na musumu be mafia ye. Sa committee vetting committee na mo wa regions no. Ye mam one struggle one.
Shaba no. Orina kwa ma ya ko. Ya shia mpele. Me sa ayi no kwada chama se atapro. Aya kura tu ankokwa ne yan wo ho. It's a basketball man catcher and show up for me, sir. When I go school, you mean me a young papa. But the party is yet. I hear question by Emma. What should I be?
I can want 2 times in our bar. You are not broken in Swansea. You call Regina Mikohobi. A Koya said the whole coincidence cost spending 70 million. Now, so it's a when you be was.
You're still watching our main news bulletin for this morning. Coming up on the program, the Bank of Ghana has maintained its policy rate at 27%, citing persistent inflationary pressures at the state. Welcome back. Now in business, the Bank of Ghana has kept its monetary policy rate unchanged at 27%. The decision to hold the rate steady is to counter elevated inflation rates and support the country's ongoing economic recovery efforts. It also comes after Ghana failed to meet its 2024 end-year inflation target of 15% as the rate inched up to 23.8% in December last year. Addressing the first Monetary Policy Committee press briefing for 2025 at its new headquarters, Governor Dr. Ernest Addison said the central bank will continue with its cautious stance in the face of underlying inflationary pressures and global economic uncertainties.
External sector conditions remain positive. We sustain stronger than program rebuilding of reserve buffers contributing to the stability of the domestic currency. The performance of the external sector was mainly driven by strong growth in gold exports, which also largely impacted positively on growth. In the outlook, the external sector is expected to remain strong as commodity prices remain favorable amid improvements in production. Overall, while the external sector conditions are expected to provide an anchor to exchange rate stability, key risks in the outlook, including challenges in the energy sector, will have to be closely monitored. The stronger than projected growth and generally improved macroeconomic conditions are spilling over positively to the banking sector. To sustain this effort, the Bank of Ghana will continue to ensure that banks with capital gaps adhere to their committed recapitalization plans to shore up solvency. Supervisory activities will be intensified to ensure that banks continue to address the high NPLs, which poses potential risks to the stability of the industry. The improvement in the domestic macroeconomic conditions is also expected to bolster debt servicing capabilities of corporate and household sectors, which would help mitigate further buildup of NPLs within the industry. The inflation profile remains elevated, largely driven by food price movements, especially in the last quarter of the year. The climate-related factors, including the dry spell in some parts of the food-growing regions of the country, and the late onset of rains negatively affected production, while supply chain weaknesses generally affected food prices. While the inflation outturn for the year 2024 deviated from target, it is expected that the disinflation process will resume, contingent on renewed efforts at fiscal consolidation, which is anticipated in the new administration's economic policy agenda and the yet-to-be-presented 2025 budget statement. The bank's latest inflation forecast shows a steady decline and return to the path of disinflation with an extended time horizon of achieving the medium-term target of 8 plus or minus 2%. Under the circumstances, the committee decided to keep the monetary policy rate unchanged at 27.
In other stories, Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, has inaugurated a 7-member committee to develop a roadmap for the privatization of the electricity company of Ghana. The committee, chaired by Jabesh Amisat, a former CEO of BPA Authority, is tasked with ensuring a financially sustainable model that guarantees efficiency in the power distribution sector, including the Northern Electricity Distribution Company. This move marks one of Jinapor's first major actions as the newly sworn-in minister, and it aims to address the challenges plaguing Ghana's power sector.
The move forms part of efforts by the newly sworn-in Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, to ensure the sustainability of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and
the sector will collapse. And as Minister of Energy, looking at the records, I'm very, very worried, and the situation is alarming. Something must be done urgently. And so I would appeal to the public, the ECG staff, the workers' union, to give this committee maximum cooperation. If they get your cooperation, we can come up with a roadmap that's acceptable to all of us, but that will ensure that we bring about efficiency and turn the sector around. We have always advocated for local content. And so in your work, always have it at the back of your mind that local content participation ought to have a place as far as ECG's work is concerned. To the Tema Harbour, and to our dismay, ECG has contracted suppliers, and what ECG did was that once you submit a bill of lading, the obligation falls on ECG to ensure that the containers are cleared at the port. As at yesterday when we went there, we had about 2,500 containers stranded at the port because ECG is unable to clear those containers, and they are attracting demurrage. And so far, the demurrage alone is estimated at a staggering 1.5 billion.
give attention to what will really bring benefits to the sector and to the customers in terms of financial sustainability of the sector, and also address the concerns of other stakeholders such as the owners of the business, the staff and management. We will consider what will turn out to be the main weaknesses of the distribution sector, and as far as possible give priority to homegrown approaches and homegrown strategies.
Ghana's prison system is in dire need of reform, and the Member of Parliament for Kwabri East, Onyina Echampo Nakwesi Jamfi, is calling on President Mahama to take action. The country's prisons are plagued by overcrowding, poor conditions and inadequate infrastructure, which has led to serious health problems among prisoners. The MP is urging the government to establish policies that will ensure effective reforms in the prison system, bringing it up to international standards. This includes addressing the issue of prison overcrowding, which is particularly acute in some prisons, and providing adequate health care to prisoners.
Well, yes, I mean, it's very important that we, like what he said, one of the things I recall, that he will have a factory set up inside prison. Very laudable idea. Also outside, I had that, already there are farms. Let's intensify it, because a lot of people come out of prison more hardened than they were when they were going inside prison. And we think that prison is for reforms. That's basically the concept. But we don't get the reforms. Rather, prison sometimes has become the training or breeding grounds for criminals. And that is a no-go area, and we don't have to countenance that. We need to ensure that prison serves what it has to. If it doesn't serve the purpose, then why take them to prison? To make them even more hardened, to go and breed more. People were neutral, they went in for minor demeanors, but then they turn up and they come out and they become hardened criminals, and that is unacceptable. We shouldn't have to do that, put our citizens through this ordeal for them to be worse than they were when they went in. And this is something I'm very passionate about, and I wanted the Honorable Minister to take note of that and to make sure that this, he brings in a lot of reforms that will change them, transform them into better individuals and better citizens.
The acting chief executive officer of the Youth Employment Agency, Malik Basintali, has raised serious concerns over the rising youth unemployment rate in Ghana, describing it as a critical threat to national security. Speaking to TV3 on Monday, January 27, Basintali highlighted that his primary responsibility is to create jobs for the unemployed youth, a mission he considered deeply personal and urgent. He stressed that the youth unemployment not only affects economic growth, but also poses a serious risk to the country's security.
Our aim is to create sustainable jobs for Ghanaians, to create a skill that will transition the Ghanaian youth to creating their own jobs and employing other Ghanaians. And so it's a help me, I help you situation. We are going to do a lot. And I think that I told them that anybody who thinks that coming here is to make money should resign today. But if you are ready to work and make Ghanaians proud, you are welcome on board. Let's get to work. Because it's my interest that by the end of our 4 years, we should be able to reduce the unemployment situation drastically. Unemployment is gradually becoming a national security threat in this country. And if we don't take steps to mitigate the situation, in the long run, we'll all be affected. And so my brothers and sisters, I told them not to have any cause for alarm. I've heard a lot of things in the public space, but I intend forging ahead. And my aim is to set the ball rolling. From today till my last day, I should be able to make John Mahama proud, that he will see that I appointed Malik Basintali and I'm proud of the record. And that will add on to the achievements of his government. And so, like I said, the first thing is to coordinate with the framework developers of the 24-hour economy and to put a lot of our models on a 24-hour shift so that we could recruit more people and help President Mahama run a 24-hour economy. Many of you have seen what President Mahama has been doing the past few days. He's been running a 24-hour economy himself, working day and night. And sometimes I wonder if President Mahama really sleeps.
On the international front, thousands flee fighting in Congo as rebels claim they have captured the key city of Goma, the state. Rwandan-backed rebels marched into eastern Congo's largest city, Goma, on Monday. The UN said they were supported by at least some regular Rwandan troops in the worst escalation of long-running conflict for more than a decade. A rebel alliance spearheaded by the ethnic Tutsi-led M23 militia said it had seized the lakeside city of more than 2 million people, a hub for displaced people, and 8 groups lying on the border with Rwanda and last occupied by M23 in 2012.
Rwandan-backed rebels marched into Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's largest city on Monday, according to witnesses. Prompted thousands of people, including Congolese soldiers, to flee across the border into Rwanda. The advance by the rebel alliance, spearheaded by the Tutsi-led M23 militia, is the latest escalation in decades of conflict. And that's in a region already suffering one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Corneille Nangaa, leader of the Congo River Alliance that includes the M23, said his forces were in...
Coming up in the Ghana Premier League, Hearts of Oak, Midema SC and Gold Stars FC are winning streaks this weekend at the stadium. It's going to be an exciting weekend for Ghana Premier League fans. March the 19th is just around the corner. A giant like Heart of Oak, Gold Stars FC and Midema SC are looking to return to their winning ways. Heart of Oak will host third-placed Heart of Lions at the University of Ghana Stadium this Friday. The two teams have a history having played each other 7 times since 2013, with Heart of Oak winning 2 games and Heart of Lions winning 3. Meanwhile, the remaining 8 matches will occur on Sunday, February 2nd, 2025 across various centers. Some of the exciting matchups include Vision FC returning to the Niade Kreku Second Sports Complex to host Accra Lions, and Asante Kotoko travels to the Nana Kwanamansa Park to face off against Nswatliman FC, while Midema battles Legon Cities at the TNA Stadium in Takwa. Our president of the Ghana Football Association, Kate Edwin Simon Okreku, has been cleared to contest for a slot on the Executive Committee of the Confederation of African Football after passing the mandatory integrity test. The Ghana Football Association president will run unopposed for the seat representing WAFU Zone B. This is a clear indication that President Simon Okreku has the full backing of WAFU Zone B, putting him in pole position to ascend to the Executive Committee of CAF. Kate Okreku is in his 2nd term as president of the Ghana Football Association after assuming the role in October 2019. He has been the president of WAFU Zone B since May 2021. The elections will be held in March 2025 at the 14th Extraordinary General Assembly of the Confederation of African Football at the Marriott Hotel Mena House in Cairo, Egypt. In foreign sports, Al Hilal has agreed to terminate Neymar's contract by mutual consent. Neymar is set to return to FC Santos, where he started his career on a contract under the end of the season, according to Sky Germany. MLS side Chicago Fire had open talks with the Brazilian earlier this month. Neymar had a prolonged spell on the sidelines after rupturing his anterior cruciate ligament in October 2023. The 32-year-old then suffered a hamstring injury in his second appearance for Al Hilal last November, following a year out. His contract at Al Hilal had been set to expire at the end of the season. In a statement, the club expressed its thanks and appreciation to Neymar for what he has been provided throughout his career with Al Hilal and wished the player success in his career. Napoli are set to resume talks with Manchester United over Alejandro Garnacho. The two clubs had kept their word to get back in touch at the beginning of the week and try to find a compromise. Napoli want to get an agreement in principle with the winger and his representatives, and then rely on their will to lower United demands. Chelsea, another club following Argentina international, has not yet shown official interest, and Garnacho is given priority to Napoli. Reports indicate United would be reluctant sellers, but are not in the financial position to turn down a seizable offer for Garnacho, and they do not want to stand in the way of him getting guaranteed game time elsewhere, which would boost their development. And that brings us to the end in sports. We take a recap of the top stories. President Mohammed's office has received the petition calling for the removal of Electoral Commission Chairperson Jean Mensah. And also, government resolves long-standing issue of migrating colleges of education staff to university-grade structure. And on the international front, thousands flee fighting in Congo's rebels claim they have captured the key city of Goma. And in the Ghana Premier League, Heart of Oak, Mediama SC and Gold Stars FC are winning streaks this weekend. As the package for you this morning, I am Sandra BOAHEN. Up next is ESA No Saying. For more stories, log on to our website at globetvonline.com.